everybody, it is me again. It's Anthony Coach, a guitarist on YouTube right here, right now, as the Chemical Brothers once said. I think it was the Chemical Brothers. Some of you won't even get that reference. It's a 90s UK music reference. Anyway, I got a question on this channel, which is so good. That's what I set out to do with this channel, was to have people ask me questions, to build a community, because I love teaching. I love teaching guitar, I love playing guitar. So at the beginning with this channel, I just bombarded the YouTube channel with videos, showing what I do, what I like to teach, what I like to play. But the eventual aim was that I would start responding to people. So now people, I've got these amazing people, just like you watching this video, who are asking me questions, and now I can create more. It's become self-perpetuating, like a little seedling, which is now, that's a bit weird. It's nothing like that. It's like a little seedling which is growing into a tree. Nothing weird. Anyway, the question that I'm having a look at today is all about sweep picking, which is one of these techniques which is really popular among guitarists and has been for ages and ages. I like to think of it still as a modern technique, because it doesn't make me feel quite so old. Really, when I think about modern guitar playing, I'm thinking about, a lot of heavy metal stuff, which is always going to be, I'm always going to describe heavy metal as my background in music. No matter, I love jazz and I play rock and whatever, and blues and stuff, my background is always going to be in heavy metal, no matter what I get myself into in the future. But in that kind of world, in that heavy metal world, it seems everyone's going the other way. We're not up here on the higher frets, we're down on the low, detuned 8-string, 9-string metal. That's the ultra modern stuff. But I would probably argue that sweep picking is, I would say it was probably one time a benchmark of a shredder, and at the peak of a solo you would hear this crazy technique. Now it's probably just become a basic part of the palette of a shredder, which is really intimidating for anyone who wants to get into the world of shredding. That is intimidating. This technique, which takes a massive amount of patience, is arguably standard. For want of a better word, it's like you've got to have the legato licks, you've got to have the alternate picking licks, you've got to have the music theory obviously too, and the artistic creativeness. But also you've got to have the sweep picking, 2-string sweeps, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if you're on those kind of guitars. Stop! Okay, in a bid at trying to make this channel interesting and new and fresh, got this new segment. It's question time. What do you think about sweep picking? Do you think that it is a basic requirement for shredders? Can you do it? Do you like doing it? Are you never going to learn it? Can you do it but you don't play it? What do you think about sweep picking? Do you think it's an important aspect of modern day guitar playing? What do you reckon? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, back onto the video. But anyway, I got this question, and this question comes from Jed Marcillo. And this question says,
I know others have asked, but please do a how to sweep pick lesson. Maybe something on increasing speed as well. Great playing, and thanks so much for the cool riffs.
Well, Jed, thank you for joining us over here, and thank you for your comments. You're the reason that I'm doing this video today. Okay, well, it's a two-part question. I'm mainly focusing on the sweep aspect. You asked for a lesson on sweep picking. I have done some on my channel, so check out those other videos. Click on my channel and go on more videos, or I've got a guitar lesson playlist. So then, Jed, and anyone else who's watching this video, to give you any advice on this, I have to transport you back in time to when I was about 15, and I'd been playing guitar then for about 2-3 years. And I don't know if you've ever seen the film Crossroads. There's a film called Crossroads, right? And it's starring Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid, and also Steve Vai. I've never seen this film, but there was a piece of music that became infamous in our school, because there was a core group of guitarists in my school, and someone brought a tape, an audio cassette into school, and it's a piece of music called Eugene's Trick Bag. And it's Steve Vai playing, but it's the kid in the film miming. So it's Ralph Macchio miming this guitar solo. And it starts off with some sweep arpeggios, but they're not just normal sweep arpeggios. I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying to remember them or play something similar today. But it starts off with these arpeggios, these crazy arpeggios. I remember sitting trying to learn these at 15, having played, you know, the odd guitar solo, Kirk Hammett, Creed. Creed was a band that I was into back then. Learning their guitar solos, Red Hot Chili Peppers guitar solos, and then I thought, okay, right, well, and now I'm going to learn this arpeggio section, sweeping with sliding up. You know, it's something like. Something like that, but a bit, it's like super fast. Well, it's not incredibly fast, it's just technically difficult. Anyway, that's the point I'm making, that I went in far too hard, Jed. And that is not good. If I could give myself advice, go back in time, give myself advice, I'd give myself the same advice that I'm giving to you now and that I give to my students that I teach these techniques to. You gotta start simple. You've gotta start simple. Right, I've talked a lot, so here is just an example for you. C major, everyone likes C major. There's the shape. That is the shape that I just played. It's a C major arpeggio up on fret 13, then with finger 1 on fret 12 of the top string, and then fret 15, so C, E, G. Okay, they're the notes, but sweep picking is as much to do with the right hand as it is the left hand. Right, the good news is that you're gonna sound incredible, you're gonna get this cool, fast, usable lick, this usable technique. The bad news is that it takes ages to get it up to speed. There's no shortcuts. So this pattern in a little bit more detail, it's got to go down pick, down pick. But there is more to it than that. I'm not just going down, down like this. Because listen, what happens? You get bleed. Sometimes you want bleed, or to let notes ring into one another. In sweep picking, this is the enemy of it, especially when you get loads of distortion. It mashes your notes all together. It's no good. So the first basic thing to practice is this, what I call, and everyone else calls, the paintbrush motion. You mustn't be two distinct picks. Bam, bam. It's got to go bam, bam. Bam, bam. And I usually take that to be a little bit of an exaggeration. Sometimes I will go bam, bam, just with the tiniest little flick, bam, bam. It doesn't have to be this strict bam, bam. Either or, as long as you're not going bam, bam, because you can't build that up to speed. Bam, 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 bam. When you think about how fast sweeping is, you can't do those as ba-da, ba-da. So it has to become this fluid motion. Fluid. So I'm going to get rid of the paintbrush motion and start talking and use the word fluid instead. You want a fluid motion with no tension at all, Jed. I'll be watching, no tension at all. Okay, but then that's not, so you got this in the right hand, but in the left hand you mustn't let the notes bleed. So what I'm actually doing is, as soon as I've finished playing this note, I lift that finger, not completely off because I get a pull off, just a little bit off with the finger still in contact. I'm trying to create content here on YouTube. Freudian slip. In contact, keep it in contact. And then, in perfect synchronicity, play the second note. So 2 notes happen at that point there. Your audience hears 2 notes. The guitarist is thinking of all sorts of techniques all at once. Paintbrush or fluid motion. Muting the strings when you finish with them. And then at that point also, fretting the new note. You've got to get that first. Practice it forever. Practice it for ages. Take some try your best to take some enjoyment in this process, or else you're not going to want to do it. Turn your guitar down. Watch telly. Quietest thing in the world. An electric guitar is the quietest thing in the world if you turn it down. Try it with distortion. Try it on clean. Then with an up pick, once you've got that, with an up pick, we're going to play the G with your little finger in this hand. But the more important thing is that it's going to be an upstroke in your right hand. Because what that does is it just resets your hand to go above the string, the first note. So now you're in prime position. What I like to do and what I'm going to show you today, Jed, is to just add a little pull off there. The reason for that is it buys you extra time for getting your plectrum over the B string again. And again, you've got to take an enjoyment in being able to play it this fast. Or slower. I don't know your current speed. Since you've asked about speed later in the question, I'm guessing that you're interested in building the speed as well. So yeah, I'm kind of focusing more on the sweep aspect of your question. In regards to the speed, you just got to play it slow. Building speed on guitar, you only get really good at playing fast if you're amazing and incredible at playing slowly. Metronome, build it up, do it 1 BPM a day if it takes that. Do it 5 BPM a day, probably more practical. 10 BPM a day, might be pushing it. Do you get what I mean when I'm saying this? That you've got to, so you played at 100 BPM. Then the next day try 110. Then the next day 120. Anyway, eventually you're going to just build this coordination that is just usable and second nature almost. I'm keeping this super basic. This is for people who've never tried sweep picking before. The video would be too long if I went on, because this is sweep picking. That's just one pattern on a 2-string sweep on guitar. I could do an entire lifetime of YouTube videos on sweep picking, and any guitarist could spend an entire 2 lifetimes in fully exploring what to do. But for you, Jed, that's what I'm going to recommend. And to anyone else who's watching this, once you get really confident with it, you can move it around the neck. But then some music theory and intervallic playing comes into play there. You can't just play the same shape. It sounds cool, but tough to put into a solo or a musical idea that makes musical sense. You could, but anyway, I don't want to waffle on. I think I did a lot of talking at the beginning of this video, then very little lesson. So if you made it this far, then thank you very much. And yeah, as I was saying, this channel, I set it out to be a channel on which I can answer your questions, and we can all do it together, we can all learn together, because I ask you a lot of questions about stuff I don't know about guitar, and you always get back to me in the comments, and it's well good. And yeah, there you go, that's all I can really say at this point. I might do some more, well, I'm very likely to do more lessons on sweep picking in the future, but for now, that's the end of this video. I've been Anthony Couch, you've all been really cool for watching. Stick around for more videos. If you just happened across this video, then why not consider subscribing, because it gives you loads of free guitar stuff to learn stuff about guitar, and you'll be joining this cool group of people down there in the comments who are very knowledgeable and also very knowledgeable about music. Thank you very much. I've been Anthony Couch. See you in the next video.